Please subscribe to my channel and press bell icon so you will never miss any update for upcoming videos. And don't forget to like and share.
Chairman and Co-Chairman, thank you very much for the introduction. Before I begin, I'd like to thank AFSTI and CFTRI for providing me the platform to present my work. We're going to talk about three ideas that somehow just click. And I'll talk about two more products that have arisen from structured projects, but the slight twist to the tail. Let's begin with the first of the ideas that we worked on. This is called A-HAngo. It's an ingredient to elevate alcohol hangovers. The genesis of this is a bit interesting. Alcohol beverages and Indian snacks are a complementary piece. They always go together. But somehow the problem of hangover, all the products are pharma, and pharma people, they actually make a lot of money on this. And these are some of the pharma products that are available in India. So we thought, why not we develop food or snack-based anti-hangover products? If you look at the current advisories, a lot of them are actually home remedies that actually have no sort of meaning onto any of the, they don't have any meaning. The other one is almost a big market for OTC, over-the-counter or online capsules or pills, which is almost about $150 million, and most of these are online. And if you look at some of the combinations of some of these products, they have activated carbon, they have calcium carbonate, and they don't, and zeolite. So it doesn't seem to make any sense as to what was actually happening. One of the highest selling OTC products pills is called RU21. This is supposed to be a KGB secret pitch for spies. So apparently in those days when they would go on spying and they would get all the secrets out, but they had to get back to the office the next day to give the reports. So they were supposed to take these tablets. So one problem with this is that you're supposed to take one pill before and one pill during and one pill after the session, which actually sometimes is a bit impractical. So we thought, let's go back to actually what happens. The entire alcohol pathway is essentially it is two enzymes, alcohol dehydrogenase, aldehyde dehydrogenase. Alcohol gets converted to acetaldehyde to alcohol dehydrogenase, and acetaldehyde to acetate, and both are driven by NAD. Alcohol is actually defined as one unit in terms of units. So 1 unit of alcohol is metabolized in 1 hour, and it takes about 8 grams or 10 ml of ethanol. When you first have your first unit of alcohol, you are in the green phase called as the normal. You are in what is called as the normal or the sober phase. You are actually during the euphoric phase. And what happens is that the entire alcohol gets converted slowly to acetaldehyde and acetate. The problem begins when you have more and more alcohol within 1 hour. So because it's a zero-order reaction, the entire alcohol gets converted using all the NAD into acetaldehyde. So it reaches sort of an equilibrium. And the acetaldehyde next step will not be converted till NAD is regenerated. So you have a situation where at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, you have vomiting, you have headache, that's the symptom of hangover, and it's because of the increased amount of acetaldehyde in the system. So having understood this, so we now have developed a process using a microbial fermentation. It's a grass organism where we have produced this concentrate of the yeast extract called A-HAngo. We then did this experiment in rats. We administered A-HAngo and then immediately gave it consumption. We gave alcohol. And the next experiment, we gave A-HAngo, and after 1 hour of administration of A-HAngo, we gave alcohol. So true to its character of being a zero-order reaction, it did not have any effect on the alcohol amount in the blood. But if you look at the acetaldehyde AUC, A-HAngo had almost about 50 to 60% reduction in about 4 hours. So this means that you could actually take alcohol, A-HAngo at any time during the consumption of the alcohol during the session. So we then found that it is actually very safe since it's a grass organism. It doesn't have any toxicity. Why did we use 500 milligrams? If you look at the entire beer and the spirits market, if you look at the entire distribution of alcohol units, you will find that the maximum amount of alcohol that you get in one bottle of 650 ml beer of 8% alcohol, that's Kingfisher brands, it's about 5 units. So we then formulated the yeast extract in the yeast concentrate in such a way that 100 milligrams of A-HAngo could actually counter 1 unit of alcohol or 1 unit of alcohol because they structurally safe. So the formulation was 500 milligrams can counter up to 5 units of aldehyde. This covers the entire market of the spirits and the beer. You can then formulate this, since it's just a crude powder, you can actually formulate that in the form of fixed or palm sized snack or in 1 capsule per person. And you can actually then also share it by 2 or 3 people. In fact, we had a lot of customers in the 13th week or 13th dinner. We then had a product evaluation and a consumer acceptance survey for this product. We gave a questionnaire for normal or social drinkers. And this was not for alcohol dependent or liver issue. This was an open label survey. That means there was no grouping, there was no placebo effects on this. We gave them the product along with the instructions for use. They had to actually cut open the sample and then put it on the snack that they were having and they would consume it. They could use any snack that they could use, any snack that you had. There was no restriction to the amount of snack. And they're supposed to fill up the questionnaire the next day. It had 3 sections. Section 1 had a product evaluation, which had 8 questions. Section 2 had a hangover severity scale, where they had to circle the response of their feeling of those 8 responses: thirst, tiredness, headache, dizziness. These are typical symptoms of hangover. As to whether that actually reduced it or had not have any effect. The third section had consumer acceptance. As a consumer, would you buy this as a product? Number of participants who actually participated were about 115, but we got about 102 filled-in samples at the end. 92% of the participants reported about 80% reduction in the overall hangover symptoms, and less than 10% mentioned either 50% effectiveness or no change. So what we've done is, the market is a huge market. It's a 37,700 crore market for snack-based anti-hangover products. So what we've done is we have actually licensed this to a biotechnology company in Bangalore. This is a B2B business technology transfer. And what they would do is that anybody who's in the pharma sector, snack sector, beverages, or hospitality, any number of companies in those sectors can actually pick it up and then sell this. So, and this is part of the flower pot model strategy. And the market is big enough for any number of entrepreneurs or any number of B2B people to come into the market. So this is the first of the idea that actually worked. Yes, this actually, we suggest that you always please drink responsibly. At the end, we have to say this. It's standard disclaimer. Okay, the second one that we worked was CFTRI. We developed an idli dosa batter somewhere in 2001, and we call this as a version 1.0, and we sold this technology to about 50 entrepreneurs. In about 5 years back, we converted this into free technology, and so till now we have almost had about more than 100 people who have actually benefited from this free technology. The free technology is available on our website. You can actually download the entire product details. And twice a year we have a demonstration at paying 5,000 rupees. So that is still there. But if you look at the amount of consumption that Bangalore city has, or even just the Bangalore-Mysore highway, if you look at the amount of idlis that are being consumed, we thought we will have to develop and stay still if you want to be relevant. We thought we will have to develop version 2.0. So we went back to our own CFTRI knowledge base. We looked into all the works that we had done in in-house projects and created thesis from 1970s and 1980s. And we are now coming with a product called, ingredient called delegates. It's called a dosa idli mix, which is now designed to give soft idlis and dosas. It increases the number of idlis by about 20%. Absorbs sambar very easily. This remains quite soft even when it is cold. It does not interfere with the kind of grinding or the kind of ratio of rice rolled up that you do. You just have to add this at the end of the grinding process and continue the fermentation. We tested this in 2 commercial establishments and a few households and even in a dry commercial limits. We did this in our CFTRI canteen. Every Tuesday in CFTRI canteen we give idlis. So on one of the Tuesdays we quietly switch the combination, and then normally what they do is they get about 400 idlis for about 10 kgs of the total material. By adding our mix, they got about 80 idlis more for 250 grams of our product extra. The feedback quality from the this thing was that about 80% of them have said it's quite good. And we also got this tested in a small commercial hotel outside behind CFTRI. He did a very small batch and he was quite pleased with this, though it looks, the amount of idlis looks small, but on large scale he said he would be able to do it better. Now what we are doing is we are trying to go for pan-India because it's a natural fermentation. It changes from place to place. So we are now testing it in Hyderabad, Pune, Bangalore and Coimbatore for a number of other variations of idli, dosa, appam and idiyappam. And so commercial attractiveness as far as bulk B2B packs are concerned, yeah, this technology is almost ready. But this is the photo. The one on the top is the idli from the canteen, and the one at the bottom is what you get when you use our delegates. But what we are now doing is we are now trying to see what is the value proposition for housewives. For a bulk customer, for a hotelier, it is enough for him to get large number of idlis, he is happy. But for housewives, number of idlis is not necessarily important. The housewife would need more value for in terms of nutrition or any other aspect, especially for small retail packs. So now we are also now looking seriously at this particular part. So it becomes the market is big and our target audiences will be quite big. The third one, it was just one of those weekend projects that we did. Milk sector is a very overcrowded market. There are too many players, government, non-government, private, and there are too many products, there are too many variants. If you look at milk only, you have high fat, low fat, sweetened, flavor, and then you have curds that are plain, sweet, or you have yogurt. And there are not many products except for Indian one or two, except in India where you have panchamrit, where you have curd and milk together. So we said, why don't we create a new market for that? And so we just sort of waded into this overcrowded market and said, let's create this. So we formulated a product called Panch Sudha. It's a derivative of panchamrit. It's a ready-to-try mix which has about 4.36 kcal. And we formulated this five milk, sugar, honey, ghee and curd based on artificial neural network supported by a sensory evaluation. So we have come up with this product, and if you just have to reconstitute 100 ml of this, you can add 25 grams of a dry mix and you can serve for 2 servings. This is a convenient mix that can actually be used for short school breaks or trekking, sporting activities, and even for in temples for people who would wish to do some abhisheka for that, for the gods. Currently this is now being assessed by a milk company, so we're waiting for its feedback. Now once you add water into this and make it to 100 ml this thing, it's almost equivalent to compare it with Nandini rose milk or even Nestle Milo. Look at the amount of calcium, it is quite high. Energy levels are also quite high. There is a competitor product from Gurgaon called Bidada's Panchamrit. They have double tone milk solid, sugar, honey, and oleoresin of nutmeg, clove, cardamom, saffron, mace. No idea why he's done this, but that product is available to market. Now those are the 3 ideas that sort of just arose from this discussions we're just observing in the market. Now these 2 products are from structured long-haul projects. The first one is called Nitroloxin and the other one is called Neelamadana and called. Nitroloxin is a fermented, is a new metabolite that we discovered, which is useful, which is effective against the diabetes complications, and it actually reduces the amount of diabetic cataract. This has been a long project, 9 scientists, 3 PhD theses, 4 publications through 4 projects. We've done from discovery till preclinical, we've ended the whole thing. But somehow we didn't want to get into the drug market or in the form of a pill. So we said, let's look at can we use foods as a delivery platform instead of pills, especially this molecule. If you look at the US FDA, it says you avoid drugs with these four: alcohol, caffeine, broccoli family, and grapefruits. They say no, they don't advise this. But then there is, if you look at our Indian food, essentially you have bulk food materials like rice, dal, sambar, where everybody takes every different quantities. But you also have in most of our meals, you have fixed amounts of buttermilk, about 100, 150, almost every across India. Pickles is almost about 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon you have. So can we actually use this, or even dry powders, can we use nitroxyl as a delivery through these? So we did a pharmacokinetic study on this, and we found that this is nitroxyl on its own. This is with buttermilk and with fertility. So we found that it seems to show some promise as far as delivery through buttermilk is concerned, especially if you were to look at the area under the curve and you look at the A-HAngo also. So it's almost seems promising. We are at this stage now, so where we actually would like to invite anybody who would like to collaborate with us to please get in touch with us, and so we can take this forward. The last one is called fungal fermented foods from underutilized grains. The philosophy behind this is this: Europe, you have Penicillium camembert or Penicillium roquefort, those are cheese. They produce certain set of metabolites which those people actually consume. In India, we have Indian cereals and grains with a certain set of metabolites that we consume. So we thought, can we actually create some new global foods which have the best and create a soup of new metabolites that can actually give rise to any number of benefits. So we did this, and we have two new products called Neelamadana, which is Penicillium roquefort grown on kodo millet, and Penicillium camembert, which is grown on horse millet. This is a very safe, since it's all grass organisms, it's very safe to consume. If you look at we call it Neelamadana because in Sanskrit, it's over. Since it's blue in color, the whole kodo millet becomes blue in color, so we call it Neelamadana. And if you look at the inhibition, advanced glycation end products is one of the complications of diabetes. So if you look at the inhibition of the prevention of HE, the inhibition is about 55% of all this. We also found, when we did an HPLC profile of these, we found the number of metabolites that have actually changed from the upon fermentation. But if you subject the fermented product through in vitro digestive system, amylase phase, gastric phase, and intestinal phase, you get a change in the amount of metabolites. So what we want to do is want to correlate these metabolites to these activities. So it helps you, gives you a kind of what a metabolite is there, and you know what is the proof of concept that it has been developed for these molecules. The other one is Kaulat. Kaulat in Sanskrit means from horse gram. We found that the sodium levels have actually, sodium content has gone up. Lipase has actually gone up, and lipase inhibition. Trips inhibitor has actually gone down greatly. So we are also at this stage. So for these products, if anybody is interested in working with us for these two products, please get in touch with us. Like my sincere thanks to the Institute and particularly to those who wholeheartedly participated in our acceptance for evaluation studies in A-HAngo, delegates, and also to Praras Biosciences. These are the people who have licensed our A-HAngo technology. And yes, so please don't drink and drive responsibly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.